Okay, I am on a different camera. I'm on a different camera. So you all come in and let me know if the sound is connecting. Now I'm gonna have to look at a different camera angle. Let me know if the sound is connecting. Let me know if you can hear me well. I know you can see me well. I'm, I'm going live to share this information for you. I saw this video and it's a great explanation of what I have been teaching you all and explaining to you. Okay. So what I'm teaching you all and okay. A little dark in the background, different camera, but I'm gonna go with it. I don't want to log off and then log back on. So come in, you all hit the like and hit the share button. The sound is good, a little dark in the background. It's okay. We're gonna make it do light angle over here. Let's change this a little bit. Maybe that'll help with some lighting on me. And come in, say hello. I am going to, not want to, I am going to explain why you see what's going on right now in America. Why do we see World War III fears coming? Um, at the talks that are coming now, why the the rumor is that why everyone was pretty much on social media and we had the worldwide shortage that crypto lines were being installed simultaneously at the same time. You all just let me adjust this lighting. I know it's darker than usual. I could have cut my light on, but in the back in my room, but I really don't feel like it. Right, we're just gonna go with this. Just don't feel like getting up and cutting that light on. So this will be good enough. This will be good enough. Um, but why they said that the shortage that happened caused time, right? Just like during 2019, I was telling you all during C19 2019 that it was definitely rumored then that the connectors needed for cryptocurrency, radio active lines, especially in Vegas and those big cities, during the lockdown 2019 were being for faster internet 5G for mobile banking were being installed. And ever since the quote unquote attempted assassination, we see Bitcoin went from, has been gaining gains from 63,000 now at 67,000. This crypto named Banana, I'm not familiar with that. That's on Ape Swap. That's at $37 increase, $368. So I definitely will be researching and looking more into Ape Swap that's on Banana Exchange and give you all some information and more education behind 368% gains. We got Ethereum at 3,500. XRP is back at 58 cents after having a small run. Again, I still believe XRP is the chosen one. Greetings. Greetings to you as well. Thank you for coming in and let me fix my shirt. Got a little bit too much showing right there. Thank you for coming in and saying hello as well. So let's dive right into this. You all make sure you do your do now. Hit the like and hit the share button. I'm going to share this video with you. Yeah, a whole lot's going on. A whole lot's going on. So I need everybody eyes wide open right now. I need everybody eyes wide open, right? Because the tables are turning. I'm going to show you the biblical scripture, but I want you to listen to this video footage first. This is for Star Trends on YouTube, from his YouTube channel. I'm going to give him credit. And then he shared a TikTok video from Conscious, I think it's Juice. Yeah, Juice. They spell it Joose, Conscious Juice on TikTok. So let's listen in. Let's listen in.
I want you guys to listen to this very important message this brother had to say. You can tell by his body language and mannerism that he is sincere in everything that he has to say. This truth can no longer be hidden, y'all. Check this out.
Hey there, my family. This is your brother Dana, and I'm coming to you from the city of Atlanta. You know, the decision today from the Supreme Court was not a shock to me, because we know that every system in this nation, including the justice and the Supreme Court, was made to sustain, maintain, and above all else, protect white supremacy, white power, white privilege. But see, this is what my white family don't understand. And what they don't understand is the time of us Gentiles is up. The time of the Gentiles is up, white family. So it doesn't matter about your military power. It doesn't matter about your president in the office. It doesn't matter even about the Supreme Court's decision to protect your white supremacy. Because the Bible says that the time of the Gentiles will come to a fulfillment. And you are the generation to see and witness the fulfillment. Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Those are our black brothers and sisters. And will be led away captive into all nations. That was our black brothers and sisters, ancestors that were taken into all nations by the Atlantic slave trade. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles, who are our current white Ashkenazi Jewish people. And look up what ish on the end of the word means in the English language. And these Jewish Gentiles will trodden down Jerusalem until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. To you, my Gentile family members, the time of our reign has been fulfilled. It is now time for Jacob to rise to the head. Our black brothers and sisters that we have held captive underneath white supremacy for more than 400 years, they are the real Hebrews of the Bible. And what took place in Egypt to the powerful Pharaoh and his kingdom will be exactly what takes place into this mystery Babylon, the United States of America. As God, or the Most High God, comes to set his precious chosen children, our black brothers and sisters, the real Hebrews of the Bible, free. And so there is no Supreme Court ruling, there is no president, no army, no intelligence that you can have to hold back the Most High Yah God coming to get his children. Remember, Pharaoh thought he was all that in a bag of chips too.
And they have been warned over and over again to let us go, but still we are kept in captivity. This is why TikTok has done what it done to the majority black creators. This is also why DeSantis chose to remove our history from the school system. They don't want their children to know what their ancestors have done to us. But with this new age that we have entered, everything in the dark must come to light, must face the light. This is why the sun is so bright right now. Nothing can hide underneath the sun. All truths will be revealed in due time, y'all. The truth cannot remain hidden anymore.
Now,
Wow, so he said the truth cannot remain hidden anymore. What did Cat Williams that broke the internet, the podcast with Cat Williams that broke the internet, Shannon Sharp, he says this is the year of the truth, not just from pastors and what's going on in a lot of churches, from TD Jakes to P. Diddy, to Tony Evans. It's also a white pastor that came out with something. I cannot think of his name right now as well. But you have pastors like out of Texas, that I always tell you to, oh God, what's his name? I can't, it'll come to me, to give to the Jews and the Israelites. And he know. Let me just Google that those are not the true Israelites. They know when they tell you to give to the Israelite. In fact, Jerusalem right now is empty. Pastor John Hagee. Yep. John Hagee. He committed to 8.25 million to Israelites organization. And let me show you all a video clip that I just Revelation 2 and 9 said that they are many that would say they are Jews, but they are not. Uh, the deception that many people have of the black and brown community is that we are Africans and we're not. Have you ever been told, right? Have you ever been told that the Africans are the ones that sold you? And in a sense, that's true, but you're not, or your own is the one that sold you. That part is not true because those were ancient Egyptians. That's what Pharaoh was connected with, the ancient Egyptians. And yes, they did sell the Hebrew Jews into slavery because they knew that they were not of them. That's why when Joseph got sold into slavery, he blended in so well with ancient Egyptians because he was black Hebrew Israelite and he blended in well in slavery. And he came there and he provided a plan of 7 years of prosperity to survive through the famine for Pharaoh. And so you got pastors like John Hagee that's committing 8.25 million for the Israelites organization. Um, 8,000 Christians and Jews gathered together. And, this is why the United States is always saying to give and support Israel, saying that is God's chosen people, but they know the transatlantic slave has brought a lot of those black Jews, including Jesus himself. He's from the line of Judah, right? Praise. That's why a lot of people here, black people, that's why they're so musically inclined, right? That's why hip R&B, blues, gospel, the tribe of Judah, the black Hebrew slaves. That's why Revelation 1 and 14, description, the physical appearance of God when John went to heaven. Daniel 7 and 9, when Daniel went to heaven, describes feet like bronze, right? Hair texture that of wool. So when a lot of people say they are wanting the rapture to occur, what they don't understand is that when Jesus comes back with his second coming, according it was what is called in the Bible, the second coming, he's coming back in defense of the 400 years of slavery that has been done to the black Jews that was that was brought over and sold by the ancient Egyptians through the transatlantic slave trade, right? Let's read some comments. AOK says they're wasting reparations money on migrants and their other group. Yes, they sending a lot to Ukraine. They sending billions to Ukraine. And in fact, I have to educate that during the Obama administration, that administration awarded American Jews here in the United States, the non-real Jews, millions and millions of reparations for the Holocaust. Did you all know that? Right? If you know that, I want you to put in the comment, knew that. If you did not know, I want you to put didn't know in the comment section. I'm going to land everything back that was stolen from us. In fact, the United States, before they say Christopher Columbus found the United States, there were black Indians, Seminoles already here before Columbus found. How can you find something when people are already living on it? In fact, I have Indian in me. Indian is in my family, right? I should show you all a picture of my great grandmother. If I can find it, I'll pull it up as well. So I would not be if I took an ancestry test, and I would highly suggest, because what happened was the black Jews from the northern part of Africa. And they changed the map in 1717. But Middle East is part of Africa. Africa is the biggest continent. If you look at the maps back dated to the 1700s, they changed it, and they intentionally, right, made the Middle East not to be a part of Africa, but it is. And so what happened was those black Hebrews migrated into Egypt, where they would blend in again, and ancient Egyptians. And so when the Europeans wanted slaves and they made slave trades for their guns and weaponry and things of that nature, the ancient Egyptians knew that the black Jews were none of them. They knew they were not of their tribe. From the lineage of Shem, ancient Egyptians is from the lineage of Ham. Right. Thus you get Jacob and Esau as well. And the stealing of the birthrights. So you got ancient Egyptians of the lineage of Ham. Abraham married an ancient Egyptian. His third wife name was Keturah, right? And so when you go into the Bible, this goes back to the first man, Adam. Adam means earth. It is scientifically proven that the first human race on this earth was that of black and brown, of dirt color. And all other colors, that's why you can't call color people color, derived from that. In fact, Negro land is why many people want to know, why did black people been called so many different names, from niggers to Negro land, right? Because a lot of them came from Negro land when they migrated to the ancient Egyptians to blend in. That's the western part of African. And then they were called niggers because they know what they brought them from, which is Nigeria and Niger as well. So Negro land, Nigeria, and Niger. See, what they call you, it matters, because it's telling you what you are and where you come from. Colors of the sand. The sand is more of a, can be a more of a cream, more colors of the earth and of the dirt, right? And so the prophecy is correct. We're going to spoil the nation. They're going to be forced to give us money. But it's just not about just giving money. It's like, because Hollywood created the Left Behind, for example, to give people the perception that God is coming back for everybody. But God is coming back. Yeshua is coming back to fight for the chosen ones. And listen, he went to his own, and his own received him not. Let me show you this scripture. If you believe that this scripture, Deuteronomy 28, the most powerful historical passage in the Bible, in my opinion, for people that's looking for their identity, if you believe the entire text of Deuteronomy 28 is talking to the black Hebrews that were sold into slavery, transatlantic slavery, and brought into 16 here in the United States in 1619, then you will have to agree that slavery was a result of disobedience. Now, if you're telling me that we, the black Hebrew Jews, and the Lord will take you back to Egypt in ship, who are the ones that came to America from Egypt in ships if the Lord is taking back? The black Jews. And it says, by the way which I said to you, you should never see it again. And there shall be offered for sale your enemies as male and female slaves, but none will buy you. God said in that day you will return, or he will return back to Egypt in ship, but he will not allow anyone to buy this time. Now, let's start with Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Now, it shall come to pass if it's conditional. If. See, this didn't have to happen. It's going to be repercussions that it did, consequences and repercussions, but this did not have to happen. So doggone hard-headed, as my grandmother would put it. So hard-headed. If you diligent obey the voice of the Lord. See, the ancient Egyptians at this time were serving many gods. Osiris, right? So many gods that they got the Trinity from. They were worshiping idol gods. And so when the Black Hebrews migrated to the western part of Africa and Egypt and these places in Niger and Nigeria and Negro land, they began to worship these gods as well, pagan gods. And he said, I command you, I will set you high above nations of the earth, and the blessings shall come upon you and overtake you because you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the country. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, the produce of your ground, and the increase of your herds, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall be when you go out. And see, many times when this is taught in church, people are jumping and shouting, but this was a covenant agreement that God was talking to the Black Jews at this time. The Lord will cause your enemies to rise up against you, to be defeated before your face. They should come against you one way and flee before you. How many ways, you all? What does the number 7 represent? It represents divine transition. The number 7, divine transition. Come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Why? It's divine transition, right? Good afternoon to you, Gwen. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. The Lord will command a blessing on you in your storehouses and all which you set your hand. And he will bless you in the land, in the land. He wanted to bless you in the land we was in, or us, or our ancestors. The Lord your God is giving you. The Lord would establish you as a holy people to himself, just as he has sworn to you. If you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways, then all the peoples of the earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. Could have happened a long time ago. And the Lord will grant you plenty of goods. You know, I feel like teaching, preaching today. Say plenty of goods, and the fruit of your body, and the increase of your livestock, and the produce of your ground. And then it's repeated, in the land in which the Lord swore to your fathers to give thee, the Lord would open up his good treasure. That's what we call today the good, the heavens, to give you rain in your land in this season. And that's why a lot of people that jump and shout about these scriptures have never experienced this, because the obedience didn't happen. God said, I will bless. Yeshua said, but this is Yahweh in the Old Testament translation. I will bless the work of your hand. You shall lend to many nations. All we had to do was obey. All our ancestors had to do was obey. And you will not borrow. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. You should be above only and not beneath, if you heed to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command to you today, and be careful to observe them. So shall you turn aside of any words which I command you today, to the right or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But here we go, start 15. But if you choose the latter, somebody say if, right? If, divine transition, that's it. Oh, Ryan, we can't say African American. We have to start saying Jewish Americans, right? Because African, Egyptians, and Jews are different lineages. You got Sham and you got Ham. When you think of the lineage of Ham, think of like eating a ham, which is pork, which is unhealthy. I heard T.I. break that down, that if you put pork out in club soda outside and let it sit for 24 hours, you're going to see all types of worms and pesticide. And did you all pay close attention when Malcolm X was breaking that down, or when Denzel Washington played Malcolm X and he was breaking it down to Betty, his wife, who was Angela? What's Angela's last name, you all? Her real name. And he was breaking down the both spiritual and physical reasons not to eat pig or pork. If I can find it, I'm going to play that for you. Because if you're going to go by the title of Christians, Christ-like, You should be not. In fact, in the New Testament, and this is off topic, on topic, that's where the evil spirits went to the swine, to the pig. When Jesus, Yeshua, cast out the evil spirits. And I'm saying Yeshua on purpose because the name was changed on purpose. In fact, the letter J is only a little over 400 years old. They did not. Thank you, Angela Bassett. Thank you. Nidra, thank you, Angela Bassett. They did not want you to connect the name Yeshua to Jesus being a black Jew. That's why they changed the name to Jesus. That's why. Hello, Tina. Thank you for saying hello. So if you do these things, if this was not a prophecy that you will be cursed or that we will be enslaved, it was contingent upon our ancestors' obedience, and they did not obey. But if you do not obey the voice of the Lord to observe carefully all his commandments and statutes, which I command you, all of these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You shall be cursed in the city and in the country. Your basket and your kneading bowl will be cursed. The fruit of your body and the produce of your land, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Curse shall be when you come in, and curse shall be when you go out. The Lord will send you cursing, confusion, and rebuke in all that you set your hand to do until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly because of the wickedness of your doings, which you have forsaken me. The Lord will make the plague cling to you until he have consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. The Lord will strike you with consumption, with fever, with inflammation, with severe burning fever, with the sword, with scorching, and with mildew. They shall pursue you until you perish. And your heavens, which are over your head, shall be bronze, and the earth, which is under your head, shall be iron. The Lord will change the rain of your land to powder and dust. From the heaven it shall come down on you until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be defeated right before your enemies, and you shall go out one way against them and flee. Here, 7 again, divine transition before them, 7 ways. You shall become troublesome to all the kingdoms of the earth. Your carcasses shall be food for the bird, that means your dead bodies, of the air and the beasts of the earth, and no one shall frighten them away, meaning that those that were lynched or dismembered, they'll just let the beasts of the earth, the buzzards, eat upon the dead bodies. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt, with tumors, with the scab, and with the itch from which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of heart, and you shall group at noonday, and blind man groups, and as a blind man groups in darkness, you shall not prosper at all. Have you ever wondered why black people, every time they get black Jews in America, every time they get a representative, Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, Edgar Allen from from Mississippi, right? All their leaders have been assassinated. Pastor Stephen, I think it's Stephen or Stephen Darby, assassinated. Right, mayors of cities that were black that have putting things in their foods. Right, you shall be oppressed and plundered continuously. Medgar Evers, I'm sorry, you all. Medgar Evers found in Mississippi. And no one shall save you. You shall betroth a wife. Listen, isn't this transatlantic slave? But another man shall sleep with her. Another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. You will plant vineyards, but you shall not gather its grapes. That means you will produce farms, but you shall not be the recipient of the fruit. You shall not eat the good, grapes were made to make wine. Your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes. You shall not eat of it. Your donkey shall be violently taken away from you before then. You shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you shall have no one to rescue them. Listen, Listen at this. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no strength in your hand. A nation whom you have not known shall eat the fruit of your land and produce of your labor. That's America. And you shall only be oppressed and crushed continuously. So you shall be driven mad because of the sight your eyes see. The Lord will strike you in the knees and on the legs with severe balls, which cannot be healed, and from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. The Lord will bring you and the king whom you have sent over you to a nation. Let's look at this again, or read. Let me read this again. The Lord will bring you and the king whom you have sent over you. For the people, the black, there's always argumentative about Democrat or Republican or red or blue. God don't even want you to have a president or king rule over you. He wants to be your God, to set over you, which neither you nor your fathers have known, and they should serve other gods, wood and stone. This is talking about the Catholic Church. Wood, the cross from the Catholic Church, and stone. And you shall become astonished, a proverb, and by word among all nations where the Lord will drive you. You shall carry much seed to the field, but gather little in, for the locust shall consume it. You shall plant vineyards and tend to them, but you shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. You will have olive trees throughout your territory, but you can anoint yourself with the oil, for the olive shall drop off. You will beget sons and daughters, but they shall not be yours, for they will go into captivity, people. Locusts shall consume and produce of your land. The alien who is among you shall rise higher and higher above you, and you shall come down lower and lower. The alien who is among you, this is New King James Version, will rise higher and higher, the Gentiles, and you will come down lower and lower. He shall lend to you, but you won't lend to him. See, he'll give you loans and credit, but you won't have the capital and credit to give to him. And you shall be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, pursue you, and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey. Why? Why? Because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes. For a sign and wonder on your descendants forever, because you did not serve the Lord with gladness of heart, the abundance of everything. Therefore, you should serve your enemies. And notice this is plural. See, the black Jews are not just hated by Caucasians, they're hated by China people, discriminated against blacks, Mexicans, Latinos, think that, all enemies, all races, creed, think we are beneath them, whom the Lord sent against you to hunger and thirst and nakedness and need of everything. He will put a yoke of iron. Remember when they were sold on the during the sale of the slave trade, they had a yoke of iron on their neck until it has destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth. United States. As swift, what else? I know Russia is connected to the eagle, but the United States as well. As swift as the eagle's flies, a nation, we didn't even understand the language. We spoke Hebrew, right? Arabian, we didn't even understand the language. We didn't understand English. A language you did not understand, a nation of fierce continents, which does not respect the elderly nor show favor to the young. And they shall eat the increase of your livestock and the produce of your land until you are destroyed. They shall not leave you new grain or wine, the increase of your cattle or offsprings of flocks, until they have destroyed you. They shall besiege you at all your gates until your high and fortified walls in which you trust come throughout all of your land, and they shall besiege you and your gates throughout your land, which the Lord your God has given you. You shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons and daughters, who the Lord who has given you in seed in desperate straits, and your enemy shall distress you. The sensitive and very refined man among you will be hostile towards his brother, towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the rest of his children whom he leaves behind, so that he will not give any of them the flesh of his children whom he will eat, because he has nothing left in siege and desperate straits, of which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and sensitivity, will refuse the husband of her bosom and to her son and daughter. Her placenta, which comes out of her during birth, between her feet and her children whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly for lack of everything in the siege and desperate straits, and with your enemy distress at your gates. If, here we see that word again, if you don't carefully observe to do this law, which is written in this book, that you may fear the glorious and awesome, the name of the Lord your God. Right? The name of the Lord your God. But then it goes on to tell you that I will send you back to Egypt in ships. Right? I will send you back to Egypt in ships. And the 400 years, let's look at Genesis 15 and 13. Then the Lord said to him, the struggle is for real. It really was. And we did not have to. We did not have to. But Genesis 15 and 13, the Lord said to him, now for certain that the 400 years of your descendants will be strangers in the countries, not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated there. Now, for people that like to say, well, that's Old Testament, that already happened with Pharaoh when he had to let God's people go, when he had to let the Israelites go, which Hebrew Israelite means the same today. It did not during biblical time, but in today's time, Hebrew Israelite is simultaneously, that's what Kanye West was speaking out and up against as well, and was accused of all those accusations that came against him, and as well as Kanye West. But let's look at Acts 7 and 9 as well. This is the NIV version. Because the patriarchs was jealous of Joseph, you sold him as a slave into Egypt. Again, Joseph was Jew, Hebrew Jew. You sold him as a slave into Egypt. He blended in, right? Ancient Egyptians. But God was with him and rescued him from all his trouble. He gave Joseph wisdom and enabled him to gain the goodwill of Pharaoh, the king of Joseph, to make him ruler over Egypt and all of this palace. Now, let me show you the 400 years version. And while I'm pulling it up, I'm going to show you right now, too, that Jerusalem, Revelation, right, is emptying out. I'm sorry, y'all. It's Acts 7 and 6, not 7 and 9. 7 and 6, not 7 and 9. I've been saying 7 and 9 for a long time because of Daniel 7 and 9. That talks about the texture of Jesus and his the color of his feet as in bronze. Why Jerusalem is almost empty.
Way less people. Almost nobody. Like comparing with
Mostly empty.
Via Dolorosa, pretty empty.
Empty.
It is eerie to see Jerusalem this way. Oh, there's a little group out there.
So a lot of our viewers have been asking, is it safe to come to Jerusalem? And the answer actually is
yes, because nothing's happening today. But no, because something can happen any moment, really.
And if you do end up coming here, there's just a cool thought that, hey, you're not going to be alone in all of this. If something happens, something goes down, there's about 8 million people who are here with you going through the same thing.
But we're not saying that you should come, and we're not saying that you should not come. It's something for you to pray about and think about and decide for yourself.
And by the way, we have a new video coming out this Saturday. We went to that spot right there, Akeldama. That's where Judas hung himself. And we went into a cave and found something absolutely mind-blowing.
So subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will be notified.
Way less people. Almost nobody. Like comparatively.
Mostly empty.
Via the
Yeah, Jerusalem being empty, right? So we look at, let me read some comments. My internet, come on, internet, come on now. Give me this quick signal. Joe Biden officially drops out of, whoa, what? What? I don't know. This is going to be interesting. The Simpson says Kamala will replace him. Now she's going to be a candidate for presidency, but according to the Simpsons, she's supposed to replace him as president. So we know the Simpsons always was playing ahead of time. It's not a prediction, it's playing. I'm going to do a second. Thank you for letting me know, Ryan. I'm going to do a second live stream on that later today, probably after I leave the gym. So let's look at Revelation 2 and 9. Why are they leaving Jerusalem? I know your afflictions and your poverty, right? Yet you are rich. 2 and 9, 9 plus 2 is 11, by the way. I know about the slander of those who say they are Jews and are not, but they are a synagogue of Satan. They say they are Jews, but they are not. All right, so let's look at Acts 7 and 6. I stand corrected on Acts 7 and 9. It's, when I don't like it on my laptop, I can't fact check things and get it backwards sometimes. But it says, God spoke to him in this way. 400 years your descendants will be stranger in a country not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated. But guess what, you all? The time is up. Obey God this time, right? I can't stop there. Excuse me. I got to read 7 and 7. I have to read 7 and 7. God spoke to them in this way. It said, 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, God said. And afterward, they will come out of their country. Doesn't that sound like Deuteronomy 28:68? And worship me in this place. Then he gave Abraham the covenant of circumcision. And Abraham became the father of Isaac and circumcision 8 days. The number is 8. Again, is new beginnings. After his birth, later Isaac became the father of Jacob, and Jacob became the father of the 12 tribes or the 12 patriarchs. But they were jealous of Joseph, right? Because he was a black Jew. And they sold him to ancient Egyptians. But guess what? God was still with him. Say God was with him. God is with you all. The 400 years is up. Acts 7, 6 and 7, 7. Divine transition. It is here. Do not let these people fool you to make you think they don't know why America is experiencing what they're experiencing. Pastor Stephen Darby, I'm not going to play. I would love to, right? I would love to play some of his clips, but I've heard that if you do, that YouTube will take your whole channel down. So it's just not worth me doing it. But I'm gonna share with you all, and I'm going to highly advise for you to if you're going to find yourself listening to a lot of his sermons. This is 7 years ago, right? And This is Judah. The time is up. You all, it's almost time to go up. Stephen, Darby. I told you, anybody that tried to bring,
It's a system.
Judah out, Hebrew
America
Israelite
is the
out,
daughter of Babylon
some
too.
kind of way they
But
end
Babylon's
up
a system.
going away.
The system is a system that
But
of
Pastor
Rome.
Stephen Darby,
It's a religious
Judah
system, but this is
the name of this
the
sermon.
physical. Y'all there?
Again,
Is this too
give
much?
me a second.
Come on,
I
this
would
too
have
much.
loved to play some of this for you all.
I don't have time to tell you.
But again, I don't want to take that risk because they just won't shadow ban. They'll cancel my whole channel. Right? Judah is almost time to go. Stephen Darby Ministries. If you don't listen to anything else, listen to him. But you're going to find yourself binge watching. I promise you. I just don't see how when you all find this man's channel, he's deceased now, right? That you're going to find yourself binge watching. When I go work out, I'm going to the gym. That's just what's in my ear. But you all, let me plead with you on this. Let me plead with you on this. Please, if your reparations come, please don't be disobedient like our ancestors. Please don't forget, right? And I don't know how this great exodus is going to happen. I don't know how Deuteronomy 28 and 6 days going to come to pass, how we're going to return to Egypt in ships. I don't know how the great exodus of what's known as the United States is going to happen. God did say we will worship him on his land in Acts 7 and 6 and 7 and 7. Don't be there one time. I don't want to go. Look, there are some prosperous places in Nigeria, and Negro, and that part. They just don't show you to you on television because they don't want you going back. America does not want us going back. They know we were once that curse when they sold us into slavery. In fact, they told them, oh man, these are the cursed people. They knew we were the cursed people. But guess what? According to calculation, the fall of this year, that curse is lifted and the time is up and judgment is here. This is Vicki Diller. She was in Washington, D.C. Reparations. She addressed reparations. Let's listen in on a little bit of that. Okay, my volume. So this was just 2 days ago. I know I did cut the volume down, but I thought I increased it. So I don't. And if it won't play, that's okay because this is almost an hour into the live stream anyway. But anyway, they were in Washington, D.C. 2 days, approximately 3 days ago. I'm still fighting for reparations. I do believe that the United States is going to have to. I have been teaching you all about our new currency system because this is a global financial reset. This is why other countries is now aborting and dumping the United States dollar because of the 400 years of judgment. In fact, China has invested 169 billion in Africa in 2 decades, and Russia and Africa. Again, don't you all forget that Putin was the one that revealed the Black Jesus, showed the truth of the portrait of the Black Jesus. See, this is the year of the truth, right? This is the year Cat Williams brought and told you all. This is the year of the truth. And again, Africa is the richest because that's listen, the Middle East where God come. They reorchestrated the maps and everything, but that's God's land. That's the prosperity land. Those people have been oppressed as well. There's still some Black Jews there that has been oppressed as well. And so let me see if I can find this Malcolm X. It's raining real bad. We got weather changes. This scene would actually do report. This was a deleted scene. See, this is the year of the truth. Let me share this with you. I'm on a different camera, so let me put it up just a little bit. There we go. Do not forget the Lord your God. Do not forget those when you come into your blessed land. Do not forget those who God sent to teach you this, who sent to, like myself, who is preparing you. Because you know what? When Moses went on top of Mount Sinai, before he came down to give them the 10 Commandments, they was already worshiping idol gods and golden calves. And this is why judgment came. This is why slavery came. This is why.
Considering today's standards of raising animals, of curing meats, I don't fully understand this as I think I should, the restriction that we have on pork.
Sister. All right, I'll explain it to you. No, I'll do even better than that. I'll show you, but this is purely in the interest of science, you understand? Here we have the eastern mole and the brown rat. Yes, my old friend, the aardvark. And here we have the bush pig, as it says, closely related to the domestic pig. Now, do you know why Mr. Muhammad teaches us not to eat from the pig?
Well, the pig contains certain disease-causing organisms.
Right. Right, you're exactly right. Now, that's the physical aspect. There's also the mental or psychological aspects, and there's the spiritual reasons why we're not supposed to eat of the pig. Look at the characteristics of a pig. He's sloppy, he's greedy like a pig, isn't that what they say? They also say you are what you eat. So what we put into our mouths affects our minds and our heart. We don't want to take on these characteristics of sloppiness, of uncleanliness, of selfishness. Now, from a spiritual aspect or a spiritual standpoint, the Bible and the Quran teaches us that it is divinely forbidden for us to eat of any pig. In various chapters in the Bible and the Quran, it talks about this. So from a physical standpoint, from a mental or a psychological standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, we don't want anything to do with this animal.
Yet, Christians still eat that slave food. The Bible tells you this, where the unjust, those wicked, when they cast out those demons, they went right into the swine. They went right to the pig. Let me share with this as well. Canon, right? Numbers chapter 13. God was bringing them out of canon. Speaking of food, because there will be food shortages that come through this wealth transfer and this judgment on America. Babylon will fall. It's going to look like a third world country. It's going to be confusion. Keep yourselves up spiritually, physically. Watch your foods that you're eating. Get a clean diet. The Lord said to Moses, send me some men to explore the land of Canaan, which I'm giving to the Israelites again. The ancestral tribe and its leaders, right? And they explored the land. So much God wants to give his chosen people. And the land that flows with milk and honey. But they saw themselves, the people was powerful, and the cities was fortified and very large, and the descendants of the Anuka, Anak, that's what Billy Carson talks about a lot. The Amalekites live in there, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites live in the hill countries. The Canaanites live there and near the sea along the Jordan. Then Caleb silenced the people. We should go and take possession of the land, because we certainly can do it. Hebrew Israelites. But the people saw themselves small in their eyes. See how you see yourself. Know who you are. Know your identity. Watch, again, your food intake. It took, when the Israelites got free from Pharaoh, it took them 40 years to make a 3-day journey. Why? They was complaining about food. Another thing that takes out Black Jews and Black Hebrews, not having a healthy eating diet. And then we actually, some, not me, but some actually pray over their food and say, Lord, let this be healthy and nourishing to our body. And you know it's poor. You know it's unhealthy. Quail from the north, the manna. God was giving them manna. And the people went around gathering it, and they ground it in the hand mill, and they cooked it. They made loaves, and it tastes like something made with olive oil. When the dew settled up on the camp at night, the manna came down. But Moses heard the people of every family wailing and complaining at the entrance of their tents, complaining. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, why have you brought these trouble on your servant? In other words, why do you give me these complaining people? What have I done to displease you that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Moses said, did I give them birth? Why did you tell me to carry? Why did you tell me to carry them in my arms as a nurse carries an infant to the land you promised on the oath of their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people that wanted some meat? They keep complaining to me. They keep saying, give me meat. I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy. If this is how you are going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me. This is Moses talking to God because of the people. Our people complain about meat. They want meat, unhealthy food. God was giving them mammon from heaven, from heaven. And he said, if this is how you're going to treat me, please just go ahead and kill me. I have found favor in your eyes. Do not let me face my own ruin. And then the Lord said to Moses, bring me 70 of Israel's leaders to whom you have known, right? As leaders and officials among the people, have them come to the tent of the meeting that they may stand here with you. I will come down. Jesus came down himself and speak with you there. I will take you some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you. So you don't carry the burden alone. And he said, tell the people to consecrate themselves, for tomorrow you will eat meat. The Lord gave them meat. The Lord have heard their complaining, their wailing. If only we had meat to eat. Listen, these people felt they was better off in Egypt. They felt like they were better off in slavery because they had better meat, food. Now the Lord will give you meat and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day or 2 days or 5 days or 10 days or 20 days. God sound like LeBron James right there, right? When he went to Miami. But a whole month until it comes out your nostrils, you greedy, selfish, unappreciative people. And you loathe it because you have rejected the Lord who is among you and have well before him saying, why did we ever leave Egypt, aka slavery? There are going to be some people that's going to be complaining. Even in this transition, God is bringing us out of slavery. He's bringing us from the 400 years of judgment. People are going to be complaining about there's no food in the grocery store. They can't eat the way they want to. They're not going to even, they're going to complain, not even going to survive. They're not going to be able to transition their diets. Hungry people do everything. Mounts things out of desperation. Make sure you have your protection as well. And make sure you are mentally and physically enough to face what's about to happen as a result of this 400 years of judgment. But guess what? God said I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't. But Deuteronomy 68 and Acts 7 and 6 and Acts 7 and 7 said, we're going to return back to the land that flows with milk and honey, to the chosen land, to worship God. I don't know how that great exodus is going to be from the United States, but according to the Bible, it's going to happen. All right, you all. Biden is out. I think Kamala Harris is in. It's raining outside, but I'm still going to go get my exercise in some type of way. And I'm going to do a live stream later on this, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Give me the thumbs up. Share this video. Share this message. Let's get the message out, people. 400 years of judgment as a result of the torturous things done in slavery. Right? Dismembered bodies, rape, lynchings, burnt on fire, baby fed to gators. So where we get Florida gators for bait. All the torture, all the dismembered, all of the judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. And you live to see it. You live to see it. Deuteronomy 1 and 11, may the Lord thy God, the God of our who? Ancestors, bless you and increase you 1,000 times more. Go to millermoves.com. Make sure you get God's money. As you saw the outage, you can have technology issues where you can't access your crypto. You're going to need tangible money. You're going to need your copper, your silver, These are commodities. You can exchange them for commodities like food. And your goal, you need to tangible money as well, not just digital. Queen out.